Hey, this is Jen WIGMORE, and you're listening to Recess with SPINELLI.
You are tuned in to Recess with Spinelli here on WSPN, Saratoga Springs, New York, Hoxton FM, London, England, the International Radio Festival, Milan, Italy, and the New York State Music Blog. And today we are here with New Zealand singer, songwriter, and rocker with powerful vocals, Ms. Jen WIGMORE. Her new single, Dirty Mercy, is out and available now. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. Nice to be talking to you.
So let's talk about this brand new single, which you just dropped this past month, or November, called Dirty Mercy. I understand it's for some foreshadowing of what we can expect off the new album?
Yes, it is. Well, kind of. It kind of stands on its own a little bit, Dirty Mercy. It's definitely one of the more heavier tracks on the upcoming album. It's really kind of just balls to the wall and heavy and rock and roll kind of track, which has always kind of been a bit of a pipe dream of mine, to do a track like that. So it's been really fun just going for it with loud guitars and dashing away on drums and carrying on like a rock star for a minute. It's been good times.
Definitely a stark contrast to some of your earlier work from, I think, it's around 2008 with SOS and These Roses, right?
Yeah, massively. I know, it's kind of odd actually. I look back at some of the stuff that I, was first, 19 and things like that, writing, and it's definitely a little way more full on. Now, I mean, vocally, musically, it's definitely a different kind of tone, which is really fun. That's what I find and love about music, and it's the evolution of where you go with it all. It's definitely very different to These Roses.
Or do you know when that moment happened, or why that moment happened, when you started to get, I guess, a little bit more of an edgy sound in your music?
I think taking more of an interest in different kinds of and styles of music, having a wider kind of listen and love of music, and playing around with that and trying new things. I had this really massive fear, I guess, of being bored with myself musically, and just in life in general. So I want to make sure I'm always exploring new kind of avenues on what I can do and play and write and sing about. So for me, every piece of music that I do has to be quite different from the last, and so this song was just kind of that continuation, really.
So for this new album, what did you have to do to keep you interested and prevent you from getting bored?
I tried a bunch of new things. I produced this album. I did the same with Blood to Bone, and I did this one with a friend of mine, Steve Rush, and he's Raphael, works with Raphael Sadiq very closely, so he's got this very soul kind of funk hip-hop background. And so having that kind of mixed with what I was listening to was a really nice mix and a different road to go down. I mean, we wrote the majority of the songs on this just from tracks and beats and things like that, so none of it was really written, apart from one song that's on the record, is written by starting with piano. So everything's really groove-based, which is a different kind of approach for me to songwrite. And so it's like by nature of that, it's just kind of it's a more beat-heavy record, I'd say. Now
we're looking at a tentative schedule for this new album around March 2017?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, all things going to plan, that's when it should be out. It should be cool.
So is it all completely wrapped up and you're just working out the promos for it, or do you still have to finish a few songs?
No, all songs are done. We've just got to mix it and then master it, which shouldn't take too long, hopefully, if I don't become too much of a psycho over the mixing. I get so kind of worried about what things are finally mixed like and sound like, so hopefully I don't labour too long on that, and then it should be all good to go. Now,
you also just released the brand new music video for Dirty Mercy. What are some of your favorite aspects about working with film, music videos in particular?
I think, I've got a different relationship to music videos now. I used to really not like doing them because I didn't understand how you could work it to be of any kind of worth and purpose. And I just kind of saw it as a way to just get on TV in the young days, which I had no interest in doing. And now I see it as this really amazing opportunity, really, to have your music be visualized and be realized in a cinematic kind of format. And that's what I really enjoy about them now, is I write the treatments for all of them, and it's another way to express my ideas and thoughts about things, and thoughts about the world, and thoughts about issues and feminism and all this kind of stuff that I care about, and put it into a visual kind of context. That's where I had a lot of fun with Dirty Mercy, is that I could really explore those ideas of having a strong female lead, not have me be the centerpiece, and have this kind of rebellion to be this who you are, and have this kind of free speech and free thought, and be okay with yourself, essentially, and be a leader, not a follower. And I liked that kind of abandon to be who you are, truly, without any kind of filter, and especially in this day and age, I think there is a lot of that. So I wanted to see that in this music video, which was really fun and exciting to write and then make.
Now, is this the first music video that you've done where you're not the centerpiece of the video itself?
It is. Yeah, it is. Which is great. I mean, it's something you've got to kind of fight for over the span of your career, but I'm really thankful that I'm at the stage now where I don't need to be in them the whole time, because I don't think, I'm a musician, I write music, I'm here to be heard, not to be seen, really, is my thought on the whole thing. So it's cool. I mean, if I can get my story across and have the songs with the soundtrack to it all, then that's an ideal world for me.
About a man like that.
Now, going over to a little bit more tour information, over the past year, starting with what seemed to be starting with Blood to Bone, you've done quite a lot of touring, especially in the Northeast here. I've noticed you've been here 3 times in the past year.
Yeah.
I think that this is a little different from how you've approached other records in the past, right? Because I think the differences, or the in-between times between Holy Smokes, Gravel and Wine, and Blood to Bone had less touring in between, right?
Totally, yeah. It was just not really well thought out. I went through a period of kind of odd management and labels, and went through that whole kind of circus/nightmare for a good 6 or 7 years through that kind of time period. And so it was just not really on straight. And also I wasn't as experienced. And now I understand how important and how much I love. My 2 loves really about music are the touring and the writing of songs. And so that's kind of where I want to spend most of my time within this industry and in this world. So I've realigned everything, new management, new labels, all that kind of stuff, and our focus is touring. So that's touring and writing great music. So that's why there's been such a kind of step up with a lot more touring, and that will totally be the case with this next album as well. It's just spending a good 8 months on the road around the world. So
being on the road so much in the past year, have you needed a break in between each one?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's always nice to sleep in your own bed rather than some shitty motel, but it's you need a break for sure, just to kind of get your relationships and friendships and things back together and things like that, which all inevitably fall apart slightly when you get on the road, because you just don't see anyone other than your band. But I think the cool thing about being on the road is that I do find it very comfortable. It's a different kind of reality, but I do love that reality. It feels very Peter Pan-like, and it helps that my band are some of my best friends. So it's like going away on summer camp that just kind of never ends.
Now, the tour you're currently on is called Let It Ride. It started in Mexico City and will be ending in Albany, New York on December 9th. What have been some of the highlights so far? I understand you're currently in between South Carolina and Tennessee at the moment, right?
We are, yeah. We just got to Memphis last night. It's been a really cool tour, actually. It's been a lot of these places I've never been to, let alone played. And that was the case starting out with Mexico, which was really cool, is to see and meet all my kind of fans and people that listen to my music out there. It's really nice to play in front of audiences that you've never played in front of, because you get to see that initial first kind of reaction and response to how your music has affected them and is affecting them right there and then, whether it's making them cry in front of you or jumping around like a mental case and being super excited about what you're about to play, and it's really cool to get that kind of raw connection and feeling and relationship with your fans. So that's what's been really nice about the tour, is just going into brand new markets and territories and cities and proper touring, you know.
Out of curiosity, with playing in Mexico City in front of a crowd whose native language is Spanish, was there a language barrier at all, either performing and have people understanding your lyrics or just getting things done for stage prep?
Yeah, no, I mean, surprisingly enough, everyone kind of knew most of the words, and some of them might have been wrong, but that's fine. I'm going to say they got creative license. But no, I mean, I thought about that. I was like, do I try and learn some kind of Spanish for a minute just come across all right? But at the same time, you know, I think you've just got to, at the end of the day, I was like, right, I don't know how to do that. I'm not even trying to play funk. I'm just going to be me, say what I think, say what I feel, and you know, you get some people will understand and some people won't, but that's cool. So no, I didn't really alter anything or anything that I said. I just blurted out with English the whole time. It was, did a few hellos in Spanish, and that was probably about it, really. But that is my aim, to learn a little bit more.
I was born by the devil. I was left here to die.
What was the initial reason to move to Los Angeles?
You know what? I always wanted to move out there. It seemed like the utopia kind of music and arts and just, you know, creativity in general. And I loved the idea. I've always been the kind of kid growing up that always wanted to know what was over the fence, what was around the corner, what was up the street, what was over that hill, and always very inquisitive about that. And with that kind of attitude towards life, I always wondered what was in America, and the fact that it felt like there was just no ceiling, there was no cap to what you could do and what you could achieve, and I really loved being in environments like that. And I guess I always just needed a catalyst more than anything. And then when I met my now husband, Jason Butler, he was it. That was it. He's from Los Angeles, and that was my excuse to kind of make the jump. So I did, and that's awesome. I really love living in Los Angeles. I'm not sure if I'll leave, actually.
Now, in Los Angeles, do you find yourself bumping into other Kiwis on a regular basis, or is there not too much of a New Zealand crowd there?
Yeah, you know what? There is a massive New Zealand crowd, and that's really what helped me through hugely when I got there. Because there's in America, there's so many, just probably really by population, there's so many more rules and regulations and red tape that you've got to kind of figure out how to work and get past and sort out how to be part of the system, I guess, much more so than in New Zealand. And so there is this huge Kiwi contingent in Los Angeles, which, you know, open arms warmed me into their home, and I stayed on couches and various things for the first 3 or 4 months. And without that, I would have felt very alone and very out of my depth being in Los Angeles. So, there's a really cool bunch of people from New Zealand living there in Los Angeles, and that's some of my closest friends. So it's really nice to have that, you know, on your doorstep. That sense of humour, that kind of, you know, upbringing and common ground, you know.
Quickly going back into some of your history, I understand that you won an international songwriting contest at 18. I think I saw that you moved to Australia in 20. So what were some of the reasons that you started writing music and playing music and made you ultimately decide to chase this as a career?
I started when I was really young, but I had really no idea that I was starting. At 12 or 13, you know, it was very much a hobby, and I had no real major dreams or idea that I would be doing music in the capacity that I am now. And I guess the weird thing about it is I kept kind of not giving into it, and I kept wanting to be a teacher, and I would keep trying to go to school and be academic and get my grades and all this kind of stuff. But music kept just knocking at my door, for lack of a better word, and it kept presenting itself and looking so appealing. And then with the international songwriting competition, that was kind of the big departure, I guess, away from trying to do anything but music, and it really solidified, I guess, the fact that, okay, maybe I'll give this a proper go, and I'll dedicate my time to it and really try. So I did, and that was around 17 or 18 years old, and so from then I kind of, got a record deal and haven't really looked back, and it's been over 10 years now, and I'm still going with music. So, yeah, it's kind of mental that I've stuck to anything this long.
The final question is essentially whatever you want to say to your fans, our listeners. What do you want to promote? What do you think is important for them to hear about you?
I think for me, for everyone listening, is just to check out the music, really. I mean, that'll be the best kind of judge, and come to a show. I'd love to meet you all and play you some music. So listen out for Dirty Mercy, and then if you like that, check out the new record that's coming out next year.
Well, we'll have the opportunity very soon. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you for having a chat. It's been lovely.
You have been listening to Recess with Spinelli here on WSPN, Saratoga Springs, New York, Hoxton FM, London, England, the International Radio Festival Milan, Italy, and the New York State Music Blog. Today, we have been speaking with New Zealand singer-songwriter, now residing in Los Angeles, Jen WIGMORE. She has her new single, Dirty Mercy, out now, and you can check her out at the Hollow Bar and Kitchen on December 9th, and that is in Albany, New York.